What's up, everyone? Welcome back. How are we doing? Welcome back. It's Tuesday Night Live, 2022 edition. Oh, this is crazy. What's up? We already got a bunch of people here. Yeah, let's see. What do we even say at the beginning of these shows? Kind of forgot, actually. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about and some updates for 2022. So sit back, relax, grab something to drink or eat, whatever, and I will be right back. All right, what's up? We got Neil in the house, sitting on the other side of the planet in Sydney. Looking forward to talking all things running. It's awesome. Welcome from the other side of the planet. Dorker100 here. Hello from Midland, Texas. What's up? Justin Turnbow's here. Hello from Tulsa. Happy 2022. Fresh start to a disappointing end of the year. Onward. That's right. Kobe James. Hey, guys. Personally, what's your favorite running watch? Ooh, good one. Let's come back to that. We will come back to that. In the hunt for a new one. Thanks. Laura Bellman's here from Kansas City. Saul's here from Sandwich, Illinois. Christy Wiley's here. Hi, everyone, from Pennsylvania. Mango Runner, happy 2022, everyone, from South Carolina. Dallin Ricks here from Lubbock, Texas. Happy to join live. Happy New Year, everyone. John Truelove. Oh, man, I heard about this. Not in the COVID jail in Cancun, Mexico. It's not maybe it's not a great place to be stuck, but yeah, sorry to hear that. Hope you get out of there soon. Atlee's here from Philadelphia. Brian Purcell's here from Nashville, Tennessee. And what buckle is that in your icon? Is that Western States or is that Tahoe Rim Trail? Or I can't tell which one that is. Let us know in the chat. Dorker100's here. Kobe, I'm a Sunto guy. Polar Grit X Pro looks interesting. Yeah. David Sachs is here. Hello from upstate New York. Nicholas Bowden's here from central Pennsylvania. Any goals for the channel for this year? Yeah. So interesting. I thought so. I thought it might have been Tahoe Rim Trail. Nice. Brian Steinberg runs too much from Grand Rapids. What's up? Well, hope you all had a very happy, first of all, I guess we've had two holidays, at least major ones, Christmas and New Year's in between the last live stream. So I hope you all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope you all are safe and well, hanging out, getting some running in, getting some time with family, and just enjoying life. Let's see. What was the first question was, personally, what's your favorite running watch right now? So this one is from Kobe James. So right now I'm kind of in this mode right now where I'm kind of testing out some of the cheaper watches from a couple different brands, Garmin and Coros. So I've got on my watch on my wrist right now, I've got oh my gosh, that's so blown out. Sorry. The settings are way wrong on that overhead camera. I've got the Garmin 245 and it's been really impressing me a lot. Hopefully having a video soon on it, but I just released a video on the Garmin 55, which is a very good option for an entry watch, getting into GPS watches. Also been wearing the Coros Pace 2 quite a bit, and that one has a lot of really cool features too. So if you're looking kind of in that $200 range, I would say probably a Coros Pace 2. If you want to get closer to 250, 300, Garmin 245. But if you're looking for just kind of like an all-out, does everything ultra marathon watch, there's a couple of good options out there right now. Like, depending on the price, I think the Garmin Enduro is a really good one for ultra runners, but also I would check out like the Coros Vertix Original. It's not a bad watch at all, and you can still find it out there. They still sell it, and it's cheaper now because the Coros Vertix 2 is out. I thought the Vertix was pretty good. Vertix 2 is good, but it's heavy. It's really heavy, really big and heavy, and I think it's overpriced. I think it's priced too high. But also, there's so many rumors about the Phoenix 7 being announced really soon, so I'll have to sit tight. Hopefully I would assume that they're going to announce something at CES, which would be like maybe tomorrow or the day after. But we'll see. I don't know anything about it. I'm in the dark right now as far as what the Phoenix 7 is going to look like or when it's going to come out. I know nothing. But yeah, those are good. Suunto and Polar are two brands that I do really like a lot too. In fact, the Polar Vantage V2 is one of my favorite, like, just daily running watches. But both Suunto and Polar are like, they haven't innovated in like a couple years. And so that's why hopefully they come out with something big. Both of them, hopefully they come out with something big in 2022. Yeah, they haven't innovated in a long time. Like the Polar Grit X. Now the Pro, I don't have the Pro, but the Grit X and the Vantage V2 are like watches that were like, look like they're 5, 6, 7 years old. And then Suunto, same thing. Like, they just need to innovate. And then Nicholas Bodner asks, any goals for the channel for this year? Yeah, so it's a good question. The past couple years, I would upload a video like at the end of the year and talk about goals and lay out some specific ones for like my running and for YouTube and everything. But I didn't do that this year because I don't know if it's more of a like, lost interest in that type of a video. Like I didn't see the value in it for myself or for you guys, honestly. Like that's the biggest thing. I was just like, okay, yeah, of course, like I've got some goals, but I don't need to make a video about it. And then also I went back and watched the video from last year and I was like, oh gosh, like I think I got like one of them. It was just, and a lot of it was like, some of it was like sort of like COVID related, where we just didn't have time to do stuff or couldn't collaborate, things like that. But some of it was also just like, I just missed, like, so one of them was I threw out there, I wanted to do 150 videos and, I fell pretty short of that. I was around like 75, but I also did live stream like 50 times. So it's kind of like, was that a win or was that a loss? And then another goal I had was to run 2,500 miles and I missed that by about 200 miles. Again, not super sad about that. It was just like, it happened. And then I had one make a documentary that didn't work out, just because of stuff going on. Like early in the year, it was still like, everyone was still kind of like, being super cautious. And then even the summer, like we didn't even know if we were going to be able to travel places. But I did get one. One of my goals was to like develop the brand and open up a merch store. And we did that. So that's awesome. I mean, that's all you guys too. Like, honestly, that was such a cool thing, to be able to do something like that. And, so yeah, that was a big win. And then what was the other one? Oh yeah, I wanted to kind of have like something outside of running and YouTube related. And that was write a script for like a narrative short film. And I've made a ton of progress on that. Like I've got probably like 5 or 6 like pretty good serious ideas that are like sort of fleshed out, but not like a physical like script is done. So yeah, I was just looking back on that and I was kind of like, like I do have goals for this next year. Like I think that's a good exercise to write out some stuff. A lot of it has to do with like production value and kind of like more solidifying like a look and feel to the channel. And so you've seen like the last couple thumbnails I've uploaded have been different fonts, and some of the different stuff, like just a little bit different feel to how things look. And again, like I'm a small YouTube channel, like, so it's not like earth shattering or anything, but, a lot of stuff like the production value of my reviews, like I want them to just be like through the roof. And so I'm pretty happy with the last couple I've been putting out. Just like really good as far as I'm concerned. They look good to me. And then just other stuff like with collaboration with other YouTubers. Like I would just want to dive more into that this year. And then running related, sort of similar stuff. Like I have a mileage goal. Another one, I definitely want to PR at the 100-mile distance. So, if I do get into or pick a kind of like harder mountain race, I would also like to do something in the Midwest, and definitely try and PR. So hopefully that can happen. And that's kind of like it. Like, just like kind of like trying to focus. And that's one thing that I kind of wanted to bring up with you guys, too, was that, one thing that is going to also have to change is like, there's been some other schedule changes with my jobs and stuff. And so, the live streams might not be weekly anymore. In fact, probably won't be weekly anymore, which I know really sucks for a lot of people, but it's just something that kind of has to happen, for me to like function in life, right now. So, and it's also kind of like late here, like on the East Coast, like these live streams started out as like a kind of like fun experiment to build community, during lockdown. Like I started March of 2020. And so for almost 2 years, we've been doing weekly live streams on Tuesday night. And I just kind of feel like I'm at the spot right now where with my schedule the way it is, like it's over the last 2 years, things have slowly gotten busier. And it's kind of like, there's that analogy of like if you put a frog in water and slowly raise the temperature, like he's going to boil and he's not going to jump out. Like that's kind of like where I see, like I can see my schedule getting to that point. And so I just need to pull back a tiny bit. And so, yeah, it would help to be able to have Tuesday nights, like with the family, or be able to do, and also like there's going to be a couple of times where I just wouldn't be able to because of work, over the next couple of weeks. So unfortunately, it's probably going to be like more of like a, like I'll schedule them like out in advance. But they're just not going to be able to be every week anymore, which kind of sucks. Really sucks. But yeah, so, that'll be a big change, but hopefully with that, I'll be able to, live a more sane, healthy life than it, like, cause honestly, it's not like in a place right now where it's like super bad, but I could see it getting there like in the future. So I'm just trying to do the best thing for myself and for my family, for work and everything. But yeah, what else we got here? Jeff says, are you in line for trying out the Hoka Speedgoat 5? And they changed their name to Hoka. Just there's no more One anymore, which is kind of an interesting thing. But yes, I have like a couple of unreleased shoes right now. Like you've seen the Mach Supersonic, the Carbon X3, Tecton X, and the Kawana. But the Speedgoat 5 is coming soon. There was a production delay on Hoka's side with the Speedgoat 5. So that's coming here in a couple weeks, should be here. But I don't think it comes out until, I think the actual release date is May. Let's see here. I've actually got that info on hand. Yeah, Speed Go is supposed to come out March 15th, along with the Mach Supersonic. The Tecton X is the one that comes out in May. The Kawana comes out in like a week. I honestly haven't even ran a single step in that shoe yet. I don't know. We'll see. It's meant to be more of like a kind of like a running shoe for kind of like I don't know how to describe it actually. They say it's kind of like a running shoe for everyone. So what I think that means, like Hoka code for like people that don't really like running or just getting into running, or want to like wear it as like a casual shoe too. So I'm not really exactly sure. But I also haven't like watched any other videos on it or read any reviews or anything. So that's how I always do like any type of stuff, like shoe reviews or any type of watch reviews or anything I do too. I'd really try and make sure that I don't accidentally see or hear other people's opinions. Now, sometimes it just does happen. But for the most part, I try to be as like impartial, than impartial. Is that the right word? Did I say that right? I try to be as uninfluenced. I don't know what the word is. Yeah. But yeah, I should have that in a couple weeks, hopefully. Brian Purcell says, how cold is too cold for you to go on a run? I can do it down to 20, but under that and breathing is hard. Yeah, I can. I've had that happen before. But I haven't had it happen in a long time where I thought breathing was actually hard. But I think probably the coldest run I've gone on in the last couple of years was maybe somewhere around like 12 or 15 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's pretty bad. Like, that's not fun at all. I mean, you get to that point and it's like, you just can't, like your skin just can't get to that point where there's enough blood rushing through it for you to feel warm. Now, like other days, like that are in the 30s or even in the 20s, sometimes I'm okay with that. As long as I can get like a decent kit going with like, if it's working right, like I get the right layers. And the wind is the big thing though, honestly. That's the thing. Like I can run in really cold temperatures, but when the wind is also blowing, it's like, oof, like that's bad. So I don't know if I have a limit. Like today, it was 25 degrees today and I just ran in the garage, on the treadmill, but I put on sweatpants and a hoodie. Cause I'm like, I want to sweat. It's like, if I'm going to run, like I want to feel like I'm working. So yeah, I put on sweatpants and a hoodie and it felt great. Justin Turnbow says, just out of curiosity, how does your daily eating relate to your running? That's a tough one. Like big time. Like, when I'm in my like heavier training cycles, I really don't pay attention to eating, which is probably not good. Like as I get farther away from my 20s, but closer to my 40s. But yeah, when I'm in my heavier training cycles, like I eat until I'm not hungry anymore. And if I am hungry during the day, like I'll snack. Like I try to keep like more like I try not to just do like chips or, like candy and stuff like that. But sometimes it happens. But then the times that are hard are like the winter where my volume usually goes down a lot. And then in those situations, I just kind of like focus on just not overeating, and try to incorporate more like fruits and vegetables, like do smoothies. Like I have a Vitamix, and so I try to do that every day or most days, which is good. Like you can get a lot of good nutrients out of that. But yeah, it's much more of a struggle when my training is low, because when my training is high, like I feel like I almost can't get enough calories throughout the day. But yeah, when my training is low, it's like, it doesn't take much to overeat. Laura Bellman says, I like Ryan better than Kafuzi or Seth Moore. Oh, thank you. I love both those guys, but that's nice to hear. Thank you. Justin Turnbow, me too. Thank you. Aaron Wagner says, Happy New Year. Best wishes for goal chasing, both running and YouTube and life. And Happy New Year to you as well, Aaron. And good luck to you as well. Jeff says, I wanted to ask about timing of live streams. I'm in Indianapolis and I was hoping you might go earlier, though bummed about not being weekly. Yeah, the reason, and that's the thing, the reason why I go so late is so that I can actually like be present and like get the kids in bed. And like, honestly, like tonight was one of those nights where I was with 5 minutes to go, I was still trying to get a kid in bed. So yeah, stuff. But no, I can't go earlier. So that's like the reason why it has to be 9. But yeah. Matt LeGrand says, yo, what's going on? What's up, Matt? Justin says, think 2020 gave a lot of us Gary Robbins perspective. Love where he's at and totally understand your thought process. Proud of you. Yeah, man, I read his Instagram post. I think it was on Instagram about why he's dropping out of the Barkley marathons. And yeah, that really hit home. And it honestly kind of like echoed a lot of the stuff that I had been feeling. And especially like over Christmas break, where I had about a little over a week off of my day job, and the church got really busy. So it was like, I kind of didn't have a whole lot of time off. I had about like 3 or 4 days off. We also tried to go on a vacation that failed miserably because our Airbnb, I think I talked about that in one of the videos. Yeah, our Airbnb was just a disaster. Like I've never been to an Airbnb that was like this. It was pretty obvious what happened in between the last guest and us was that someone just went in there and kind of tried to make it, they were there for like 15 minutes and tried to make it look like someone cleaned. Like they took out the trash and they folded the blankets back up on the bed and then left. Cause it was like nothing else was clean. And it was really, you know, I'll say this. There's worse things in life. Like it was a beautiful house and it was like actually pretty clean, but it was also not clean for the money that we were paying and the expectations that you have when you go to an Airbnb. And it was also stressful for us because mostly my wife spent a good couple hours on the first night, like actually cleaning, like doing the work that this company was supposed to do. So anyway, that was a disaster. But that was, yeah. So I had like maybe 3 or 4 actual days off. So that was great. But yeah, Gary Robbins' post was just like, man, like that really did hit home. And it kind of like echoed a lot of the stuff that I've been thinking over the last, honestly, like you think about it all the time. Like when you have family, kids. So yeah, it's good to hear someone like kind of like it's good to hear someone like that has just, where I would say most ultra runners just have an enormous amount of respect for like his drive and his hunger and his just like sheer like ultra running power. And then to hear him say that like just, and I'm not going to like paraphrase it because I can't do it as well as he wrote it. So just go read his Instagram post, but to hear him talk like that and just put the value where it should be, it was like, wow. Yeah. Like just, yeah. Good job, man. So that was really cool to see, read, just someone being kind of like a leader in our community for that. It was just awesome. Aaron Wagner says, my race calendar is filling out nicely. Burning River 100. Nice. Mogan Monster 100 and Red Rock Canyon 100K. Have you decided on any races yet? That's awesome. Okay. So I'll say Burning River 100. Nice with that. I would probably do that. Except for the fact that I might be traveling at the same time. for another race, hopefully filming at. So, but I might go to that or Mohican. And then Mogi and Monster is awesome. That's a race that I want to do someday. Red Rock Canyon, I've never heard of that one. But I haven't decided on any races yet. I'm thinking about jumping into a couple lotteries. Like I'm just thinking about Lake Sonoma 100K I've always wanted to do that one. And right now I'm just kind of like it's in May and I'm like, I might not, like that might actually work out, like just looking at schedules and stuff. It's a lottery though, and I think thousands of people apply, so it's pretty slim chance to get into that one. And then, yeah, there's a couple others I'm thinking about that possibly are like lotteries, but honestly, at this point, I don't know. Like I've got Indiana Trail 100, I'll probably do for sure, and then possibly Mohican. So those are two like pretty good options. But yeah, I can't take too many trips, just because of work, like my actual job, my actual day job. It's not that big of a deal to take vacation from, but, my second job where I'm like contracted to do, like production audio at my church, like that's really hard to take time off. And it's always like all the hours on the weekend. So it's kind of like, it's like, I really wish that they would do 100 milers on like Tuesday. Like that'd be perfect for me because it's super easy to take vacation from my day job. I know I just have a weird situation, but, see here, make the best of what's around says your audio is dropping out and your video quality is dropping frequently. Uh-oh. I hope that's not happening for everybody. I'm not showing anything. I'm not showing any problems on my end. If anybody else is having problems, let me know. I've got the, bandwidth statistics. Looks good. Everything looks solid. Brian Steinberg says, I registered for Mohican. Sweet. That's cool. That's a good race. I saw that loop a little over 3.5 times. Should have been 4. Justin says not on my end on YouTube. Okay, good. Megan says, Happy New Year. I'm currently training for my first ultra in Chicago winter and looking for some advice on how to build good treadmill workouts to get vert. How do you pick your grade duration during use? For me, it's real simple. I just put it on max. But that was because I was training for a race that kind of required every moment I could be training to go uphill. I was. It's just kind of what it needed. But I would say that for most races, you can pick just like a kind of, I would definitely ease into this because there are some pretty serious overuse injuries that you can develop in your feet and in your Achilles, and maybe your ankles and knees as well if you just jump into this too fast. And even very seasoned runners should take this type of approach slowly. But just for a couple runs, just put your incline up for a couple minutes and just hike and just get used to the hiking aspect of it. And then if you do want to start getting into some like running uphill, maybe put it up to like 7 or 8%, and just run on that for like a minute or two for a couple intervals. And this is all over the course of maybe like a couple weeks. And then after you feel like you're getting really comfortable with it and you're not having any trouble with your Achilles is fine. The bottoms of your feet are doing okay. Knees and everything are good. Then I would say, then you can start kind of like testing out more of like what, you're capable of, like put it up to like 10% and just run for, what's up, Laura, super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, it's a super sticker. Thank you so much. Raising your thumb. That's awesome. But yeah, as far as like the incline training and everything, if you want to get good at running uphill, treadmills are awesome for that. Because once you work yourself into that spot where your feet, ankles, knees, legs can handle the running on the incline, then you can just do that forever. And yeah, you can get really good at running uphill for that. But I would say start off with very short intervals, start off hiking, and then slowly get into your running uphill, but definitely pay attention, because something like an Achilles injury can go from 0 to 100 in a matter of like a minute. Like if you're pushing it too hard. So like if you feel anything in those areas, back off, and just say, okay, like I'll start again, I'll get going tomorrow, try it again. But just really be careful with that kind of stuff, because overuse injuries with your Achilles are very hard to also come back from. Like it takes a long time. Ultra Dad says, nightmare Airbnb story the day before run a couple years ago. We opened up our door, a river of water flowing through the ceiling. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Crazy. Jeff Mulaney says, doing the IT100 too. Glad to hear you're running that too. Yeah, I need to go back and crush that thing. Josh says, at one point recently you mentioned that you were thinking about maybe getting a coach. Did you? What was it that you think you need from a coach, and or how do you think a coach might help you? Very good question. I will say that like I was seriously debating it right around October, kind of like September, October of last year, like leading into the IT100. I was just like, did I do this right? Did I maximize my potential? And then even after the race, I was just kind of thinking about it. I was like, like it probably would be good if I want to get really serious about hitting a PR or seeing what my potential is at running 100 miles, to actually get a coach. Because the main thing is they can help keep you accountable. I think different people are different. Like I wouldn't necessarily need, since for years I've coached other runners, I wouldn't necessarily need the workouts or any type of like that kind of stuff. Like basically what I would be paying for and getting value from is having that type of accountability, but then also knowing when, just having someone else spend the time looking into the data and making judgments off of that, so that I didn't have to spend that time. That was kind of like another big thing, was that I was like it would be really nice to not have to spend that time. So I was thinking about that. But I'm not going to get a coach this year. If I ever do get into Western States or Hard Rock, I definitely will. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, not this year. But for me, yeah, Josh, it was mainly accountability. But if you're someone who doesn't have the time to kind of like read up on different training philosophies and your energy systems, and if you know nothing about training by heart rate or MAF or training zones, or if you've never run with power, there's a lot of knowledge that a coach can bring to the table. So if you're someone that is kind of like in that spot where you're just kind of like, you don't really know what to do, getting a coach can be incredibly valuable for that. Christy Wiley says, I'm considering signing up for the Windermere Marathon in Spokane, Washington this May while I'm out there visiting family at Boston Qualifier. Awesome. That'd be really cool. Man, Boston Qualifiers. I respect anybody so so much if they can qualify for Boston, because that's not easy. I mean, a lot of us ultra runners, we can go out and we can run a marathon, but can we actually do it fast enough to qualify for Boston? Not a lot of us, probably. Alvin Miller, South Leon, Michigan, Mohican bound as well. First 50 miler. Nice. That's awesome. That'll be a fun 50 miler. That'll be really fun. I forgot. I'm also probably going to go back to, you said 50 miler, made me think about this, because I'm trying to decide whether I want to do the 50K or the 50 miler at OPSF in March. So I'm probably going to do the 50K, because that course, like right now I'm thinking, oh yeah, it'd be fun to do a 50 miler. But no, when I get it back out on that course, I'll be like, oh my gosh, like get me off of this trail. Because if you've seen my video from OPSF 50/50, you'll know that it's pretty much just straight mud the whole time. So Josh, or who is that? Alvin. Yeah, if you're doing the 50K or 50 miler at Mohican, that'll be awesome. That's a really good course to do 50 miles on. That'll be really fun. And then John, if you're watching, and you're going to do OPSF 50K, that'll be fun too. Because last year you were like a week or two post Rocky Raccoon. No, what was it? What 100 miler did you do? Like 1 week before OPSF 50/50, and you were like on my heels the whole freaking race. And I was like, how's this guy on my heels? Like, he just did a 100 miler like a week ago. Megan says, super helpful. Thanks. Awesome. Dorker Hunter says, humble brag, January 16th will be running my 40th consecutive Houston Marathon. Whoa. That is crazy. And then January 16th, I'll be running my, 12th Rocky Raccoon. Jeez. That's amazing. That's awesome. Oh, John says Lake Martin 100. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, but I really wish that OPSF 50 was more runnable. Like, I wish those trails weren't just so sloppy, because that's like a perfect time to go out and do a 50K or a 50 miler even. Like, if the trails were good, I would just do the 50 miler there, because middle or end of March is like great timing for something like that. But I'm excited to go back out there. It'll be kind of fun to do 50K around that time. Oh, John, yeah, you're doing grind on the grid. That's right. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do like a last man standing at grind on the grid. If I do anything there, it'll be just maybe a few miles here and there, because like I have to work the next day, so I can't like really push for like a last man standing thing, which would be awesome. But yeah, I should be there too. But I can do OPSF the week before. Yeah, Dorker, I can't believe that you've done 40 consecutive Houston marathons and 12 Rocky Raccoons. That's amazing. But yeah, we'll see how this year shapes up. I'm really pumped about just a lot of the options of things that are happening. Things are going well as far as like just like my training. Like, I feel like I'm in a good spot to kind of like take off from. So that's really cool. It always just kind of like right around Christmas and New Year's, it always kind of feels like things are just like so busy, at least for me. My situation, work, family stuff, it's just like things are so busy, and I feel like I almost can't even get like more than a couple days in a row of running. But then once like January 1st hits, it's just kind of like a lot of that stress just kind of like disappears, because Christmas and New Year's are over. Kids go back to school tomorrow, which is awesome. Yeah, I'm just excited about just getting back into a routine, getting back into a flow. I'm having some success. Like I'll update you guys on like plantar fasciitis stuff. As you guys know, I've been like really, really struggling with that over the last like 8 months or so. And I'm having some relief from these like compression sleeves that I've been putting on my feet. It's been kind of helping a little bit. And then I found a different boot that I can sleep in. So like I'm actually optimistic about how things are going. I know that once I start kicking back into my training, I start getting back up to like 50, 60, 70, whatever miles, it's going to be rough again. But yeah, I did 40 this past week, and I felt pretty good doing it. Had a scary moment out on the trail last weekend while I was running. I was like, was going down a really steep and then really steep back up section. And right at the bottom where I was like kind of like changing directions, like slipped in some mud and my foot just kind of went at a weird angle. And like, I was like, oh my gosh, I might have ripped something in my foot. But luckily nothing happened. But yeah, I've been pretty lucky recently as far as like, all of that goes. Haven't taken any bad falls or anything. But just excited to get back into, like a really serious, like just put my head down and train sort of thing. Especially since a lot of stuff is over, as far as like Christmas, New Year stuff. John says, how about the 50 miler, super hard race? Yeah. I don't know, man. When I did that 50K last year, I was like, forget this. Like, I'm not doing another 100 yards of this. If for some reason, but that's the thing, like you can't know what the trail conditions are going to be like. Like if it doesn't rain for like a month before that race, like, yeah, it'd be nice to do the 50 miler maybe. But if you get any rain on that course, that's tough. I'll probably just do a 50K, but we'll see. Chris Rhodes says, hey, from San Antonio, what would you say is your absolute favorite hydration vest for long solo stuff? So I am kind of just getting into trying different hydration vests. I've gone through a couple different Solomons, Nathan, and Ultimate Direction now. Ultimate Direction is sending a couple more out over the next couple weeks, but they're having weird supply issues. But I should be getting the mountain vest pretty soon. If you guys haven't seen the video on the adventure vest I just posted, go ahead and watch that. But yeah, I think so. The different brands that I've kind of experienced, Solomon is definitely the most like race focused vest, meaning super lightweight. Everything's really stretchy, so you're not going to get a lot of bounce. And then the hydration, like the bottles, are collapsible, which is great. I love that. But they don't always have as many pocket options, very few zippers of any kind. So a lot of times, like the biggest thing that I don't like about packs is when I take something off at an aid station, especially like if I have a crew or like I'm handing something to a volunteer or something. Like my biggest fear sometimes at these races is that like I'm going to take my pack off and a bunch of stuff is going to fall out and I'm going to forget it or leave without it, and I'm not going to have like whatever I need or something, you know? So a lot of times I just don't even take my pack off. But yeah, that's the thing with Solomon packs. It's like everything's just stretch pockets, almost no zippers anywhere, but they're really race focused and they're really great for racing. And then something more like the ones I have, Nathan Ultimate Direction, they feel like they're more meant for like training, because they have tons of like storage options, lots of like, it's more heavy duty, more zippers, more straps, like just like stronger sort of materials, but then also heavier, more bulky, a lot more bounce. So it just kind of depends on what you want. Honestly, they're so different that it's almost like shoes. Like, there's not going to be one that's best for everybody. There's going to be ones that, like, there's going to be different vests that are focused on different things. And so you kind of have to pick that based off of what you want. But I understand how difficult it is getting into that and not knowing and not wanting to take a chance, because these things are expensive. Like the vest I just reviewed today it's a $180 vest. That's very expensive. That's a lot of money to drop. You can get some Solomon vests for a lot cheaper than that. And they'll probably work a lot better in a race situation. Especially if you're doing a race that's more tame, like something that is a little bit, maybe less, like a little bit flatter. Or maybe you're doing a 50K or 50 miler where you're not going to be even out there overnight. And so you're going to be out there just during the day. Maybe your aid stations are 3 or 4 miles apart, so you don't even really need to pack that much stuff, and the temperature swing is not going to be that big. Like, a lot of people could probably really get away with a waist belt, kind of like what I wore for Indiana Trail 100. That's going to be my go-to from now on for like more flatter races, just because I loved running that far without a pack. It felt amazing. Like, I just felt like I could run so much better. But any type of mountain races or anything where you could potentially be hiking for, a couple hours in between aid stations, or experiencing weather, big temperature swings, rain, anything like that, you're going to need to pack stuff. And so some of these other vests, like the Ultimate Direction, would be really good for some of those situations. Definitely, like if you're fast packing, some different, like some really long trails or something like that. Something like that would be really great for that. But, personally, I think I lean more towards the Solomon, just because they fit a little bit more like a glove, and they're more minimal. But different options for different situations. Laura says, my new favorite vest for winter is Swiftland Hydro from REI. That's okay. I haven't heard of that one. It has room in the backpack for a jacket for summer. It's my Osprey. Okay. Yeah. Cool. We have Osprey backpacking packs. I don't know what you call them, but like the huge ones that you go like camping with and hiking. I really like those. Dorcas says, Golden Deer, my lowest point is... Oh, okay. You're responding to Ryan. I've been taking your advice, headed out for my first 100 at the Coldwater Rumble with Air Vipa running in 2 weeks. Nice. Where has your pain cave normally set in for your hundreds? Okay. Good question. I love this question. It's kind of like I've experienced it in different places in different races. And Dorker says, my lowest point is usually at mile 25, and then I usually dial in my hydration and nutrition. So that's one super low moment for me as well, is for some reason, when you get to that about marathon mark, you're at a point where you're like, okay, I'm sufficiently tired. Like, I am, like, my legs are starting to hurt. Maybe you're having some, you're at that point where if something's not fitting right, you're going to start having chafing issues, or your shoes, you're going to start getting like blisters. So right around that 20 to 25 mile mark is where you really, really need to pay attention to all that stuff and fix problems. Like if it's gear related or shoes related. But that's also this like kind of like mental spot where you're like, all right, I just did a marathon, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have 3 more. So that's a really interesting spot. And I kind of love that spot because it's like, it's the first big kind of like wake up call. But for me, my lowest moments are kind of usually that 40 to 60, because it's kind of like that. For me, it's like that no man's land where I really don't have anything to look forward to. Like when you're in the 40s, you're kind of like, okay, like I'm getting close to halfway, but that's not that good. Like it's only halfway. And then after halfway, it's kind of like this roller coaster because you're like, yay, I'm there. But then it's like, oh my gosh, like this is so long. Like right around that 50 to 60 is when it starts going, when you start realizing the length of how long this is going to take and how long you're going to be out there moving forward. And no matter if it's, 15 or 16 hours, like if you're really fast, or if it's, 30 hours, 35 hours, right around that time when you just pass halfway, it's going to be hard for everybody too. So for me, it starts getting a lot better once I hit 70, because I'm like, all right, like 70 is a really high number. Like people at work would be like really impressed with this. You start saying stuff like that to yourself. And then, like once you hit 80, you're just like, let's go. Once you hit 90, they're like, this thing's done. We're doing it. Like, let's go. Dorker says, yep, small problems become big problems if you don't take care of them, for sure. And like, honestly, like I've been lucky that most of I've never had a gear problem or like a clothing problem or any type of like chafing or anything like that, blisters that have like taken me out of races. Like that happens to people. Sometimes people do have to drop out because it just becomes too painful for whatever reason. Everybody's pain threshold is a little bit different. So you kind of have to, for your first 100, you're not going to know where your pain threshold is. So anything that comes up, try to fix it. Especially in that 20-mile area, 25-mile area. If something's bugging you, like it's not worth it to try to just soldier on through it. Like if your socks are messed up and you're starting to get blisters, or the shoes aren't fitting right, or, the shorts are, doing weird things, like just make sure you fix those, especially if you're seeing that stuff early. Once you get like past 90, like don't even think about any of it. Just go. But that early on in a race, like, yeah, you got to take care of stuff. But yeah, I run Rabbit Run, right around mile 90. It ended up being a 108-mile race, which was awesome. No one knew that beforehand. Everyone thought it was 102, like the race website said. There's a lot of people actually that the year I did Run Rabbit Run was, we should just check out the buckle. No one's called for the buckle cam yet. Let's see, buckle cam. Here we go. Run Rabbit Run. Oh, they don't have the year on there. My bad. I think that was 2018 that I did Run Rabbit Run. Yeah, they changed the course. They added some single track, took away some fire road, and they were like, don't worry, the distance is staying exactly the same, 102 miles. And we got out there, and like right around the like 40-mile mark, all of us, because I was kind of running with other people for a good portion of the first half, and especially shout out to Wayne Chan. I don't know if you ever watch my channel, but ran 50 miles with you at Run Rabbit Run, and still it was a great experience. So anyway, and then so right around mile 40, we started noticing that all of our aid stations were off by they started getting off by like miles. It was like, oh, this aid station is supposed to be at mile 40, but we're sitting here at the aid station, everybody's watch says 43. And we're like, okay, like this is getting weird. And then once we got to like 50 or 60, like nothing made sense anymore. Everything was off by like 5 or 6 miles. And we all thought that just our watches were messed up, and that everything was just like, we all thought something was wrong. But then, like, when I finished the race, but then I picked up Matt, my pacer, Matt Meldy, at mile 50, ended up being like 55. And he was like, dude, you're like 2 hours later than we thought you were going to be. And I'm like, yeah, something's wrong with this place. Like, everybody's watches are messed up. Like, it's taking so long to get to these aid stations. Like, I thought I was going to be here 2 hours ago. And I'm not going slow and everything. And there was people, like, we were sitting at the halfway point of Run Rabbit Run, and I was sitting inside a, like, aid station. It was in a building. And I was like, we were just like chilling out. It was like, this is great. Like, I was eating some soup and everything. And like, no one was leaving. Everyone was just like hanging out. And it was packed. There's probably like 50 people in there, 50 runners, probably like 100 people total. Because it was also in the center of town. So anyone could just come and park there and crew your runner. So it was packed. And then we started realizing that like everyone here is dropping out. And we're like, we got to get out of here. So we left. And but yeah, Run Rabbit Run. Yeah, I remember why I started telling this story. Because I got blisters really bad on the bottoms of my feet. And at mile 90 is when something also messed up with the nerves in the bottom of my feet. And it was like nearly debilitating. Like, there was several moments where I had to sit down and just put my feet up on a rock because putting any type of pressure on them it was more pain than I've ever experienced in my feet before. And so that was really bad. That was a pain threshold that I met. This was like a new reality of what pain can feel like. But it was because of blisters. And I think it just had to do with a lack of proper training. Like, I did a lot of hill repeats, for Run Rabbit Run. I climbed a lot, but I live in Indiana, and that was a race out in Colorado with totally different terrain, really long climbs and descents. And that's just something that I can't mimic here in Indiana, is those long descents. But yeah, I think, for whatever reason it happened, and got to I found a new pain threshold. And so hopefully I never experience that type of pain again in my feet in a race. But yeah, you just kind of never know what's going to happen. And so, especially for your first couple races, like, you're going to hit those spots where it's just like, you have no idea. Like, you had no idea it could feel like this, or you could be this depressed, or you could be this sad or bored. You're going to get to these spots where it's just like, yeah. So I'm excited for you. Have fun and just experience it. Experience all of it, the good and the bad. Philip Wingo says, hey, Ryan, put my name in the hat for Leadville 100. Nice. Any tips for altitude and elevation training? Good question. I'm going to make a note to myself after this to make a video on the breathing kit I built for for that year. I went out and I paced John at Leadville, and then like 3 weeks later turned around and did Run Rabbit Run. And both places, the altitude was very difficult. But I feel like I had less issues than I would have without training with this device that I built. And it's different. Like, you can't go out there and just buy one of those like masks that you see like CrossFitters use, because that does nothing for changing because what you're trying to do is you're trying to change your actual, like, the composition of your blood to be able to breathe easier at those altitudes. And those masks, all they do is strengthen your diaphragm, which does not help at elevation. It's like don't even do that. So things you can do that are actually like scientific would be like, if you have money, you can go to like a lab and run on run on a treadmill with some of these machines, or you can DIY stuff. Well, you can also buy kits that are actually made like this for like a couple $1,000s, and you can sit there while you're watching TV and like breathe through this tube, and you breathe air that has less oxygen in it, and you can change your body chemistry basically, or you can DIY it like I did and buy like this like crazy stuff off the internet, build it yourself for like $40. So I should do a video on that. That'd be really cool. Yeah, but other tips aside from doing stuff like that is, just make sure you're as strong as possible, that you're as fit as possible, because whatever you feel like at sea level, you're going to be severely hampered when you go up to altitude. So raise your ceiling as much as you can. Make sure you do a ton of vertical climbing, like whether it's on a treadmill or whatever hills you have around where you live. Just be as strong as you can be going into it, so that when that altitude does hit you, you're not going to be you'll be in a better spot than if you didn't work that hard. So that's what I would say. Like if you're not going to be able to do anything to actually change your blood composition, then just be as strong as you freaking can before you get out there. And then try and roll with the punches. But also be smart about it. And if you're starting to get sick, like read up on what altitude sickness is. Because that's something that you don't want to mess with. Most people just get lightheaded and it's hard to breathe. You feel like you're working way harder than you actually are. That's what just happens to most people. But you can actually get pretty sick and have some serious health problems if you aren't paying attention to it, or you try to push yourself too hard. Wendy says, would love to find a runner to crew or massage for in Colorado. That'd be awesome. That'd be cool. I'm sure you could find people. Honestly, like I really don't like that I'm going to promote Facebook right now, but that's the best place to like find people, unfortunately, because pretty much every race has a group that you can join. I just wish all that stuff would move over to Discord. Let's go. Let's get off Facebook, get to Discord. But it seems like a lot of race directors just Facebook's easy. So just do that. But anyway, yeah, get on those groups and start throwing stuff out there. That's how I got Pacers for Grindstone. We've found other people through Facebook recently too. So, but I do not like that I'm promoting them. If I could, I would delete my profile. But the only reason why I still have it is because of these dumb groups for races. Justin says, nothing beats being in the very best shape you can be for Leadville, especially if you're at sea level. Yeah. Leadville's a hard one. Like, honestly, if the race was at sea level, it would be a super fast race. Because there's it'd be an even number. There's like 6 big climbs, and they take a lot out of you. But if it was at sea level, you would see the pros doing the fast guys and girls doing it in probably 14 hours. A lot of them. I mean, it would be faster in Western states. Maybe not faster in Western states, but it would be right up there. Probably under. And yeah, I mean, you'd see a lot of different times, but the problem is that you're at 10,000 feet the whole time. And so even the easy parts are hard, and the hard parts are even worse. So yeah, that's a good race. I definitely want to do that someday when I'm ready. When I'm ready to really like focus on it and do it. Leafy Bean Yoga says, my yoga teacher training also uses Facebook groups, not fan. Yeah, just like, man, it's unfortunate. But it's the easiest thing to do. Like, and that's the thing, is that it's just like anybody can figure it out because everyone has Facebook and it's just easy. But yeah, anyway, we'll start wrapping this up. We can go for a little over an hour. Justin said, sorry, I missed this question. Have you had a chance to check out Coop's new book? Audio version is great. I bought both. Dog earing the heck out of it. Okay, now I know what you mean. I thought that was a typo at first, but yeah. I've read his first book like 2 or 3 times. Sitting on the shelf right back there. It's that second one right there. But yeah, I haven't read his updated one. I should check that out. But yeah, great. Very knowledgeable guy. I really, really trust a lot of the stuff he says. So yeah, if you're looking for some good stuff, like follow his Instagram account. I don't know if he still does it, but he used to do this thing called Wednesday Wisdom, where you could ask him anything, and he responds to a ton of it, and it's all about running. So ask him anything on Wednesdays, and you might get some good answers. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for joining tonight. Again, I'll just say, as of right now, just keep an eye out for the notifications for live streams. They just won't be regular. I'm gonna just take at least a couple weeks before I can get back into it. If I do get back into doing it weekly, it'll be in a couple weeks, or maybe springtime or something. But I just need, with the way work is going now and everything, I just need to do what's best. And so having a thing like this, just need to change it up, So just look for notifications, keep an eye out for that. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you so much for everybody that's been joining every week for the past almost 2 years. This is nuts. This is absolutely insane. Can't believe how long this has gone on. So started off as a fun experiment, had no idea what I was doing. Please don't go back and watch those videos. Might delete them. But yeah, started out as an experiment, just trying to build community during the craziness of lockdown in March 2020. And now look at what we are. Now look where we are. We're a big community. So thank you all for joining tonight, and I'll see you again soon, for sure. Definitely. But thanks everyone. Everyone's sounding off in the comments. Thank you so much. Yeah, Discord. Leafy Bean Yoga says go check out Discord. You can get down in the description. You can find my Linktree page. I think it just says social. Go and click in there, and you can get the Discord invite there. And you can, growing community there. A couple hundred people are on that Discord. It's pretty fun. So that's it for me tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'll see you again soon. Bye.